Welcome Internet to a new series called Reddit You Spooky, where I read creepy, paranormal, scary, spooky stories from Reddit. Anyway, put those headphones on, turn off the lights, and let's get into it. The Blue Nun, from Calnen on the paranormal subreddit. A series of odd things that had happened to me and my friends. I started my first year of university last year. I stayed in one of the oldest residences on campus. Our residence used to be a school for nuns. There was a story that came with our residence that have scared first years and seniors alike. There is told to be 3 ghosts: the Blue Nun, the Red Priest, and some people claim there is to be a little girl. Now the story goes that a nun lived in our residence and caught up with an affair with a priest. I don't know if it was consensual. Anyway, out of guilt and shame, she had jumped off the tower of our residence. I don't know if this is true. It's in our archives about an on-campus suicide. It's part of the history. The story goes, if you don't flip your desk and chair over, she watches you in your sleep, messes with your room, makes your bed, etc. I, at the time, didn't believe in ghosts at all. I was a non-believer. One night, in the lounge with my friends, it was my 2nd or 3rd week, one of our community assistants was telling us a story again, and I was laughing and making jokes about the nun. Oh, come get me, nun. Oh, the scary nun. F the nun, and so on. That night, we all go to our rooms, and I say goodnight to my friends. I get ready for bed and whatnot. I get in bed, watch a TV show, and then I decide to go to sleep. I laid facing the wall. I wasn't asleep because I was thinking of what I was going to have for breakfast the next morning. All of a sudden, this odd feeling came over me. The hair on my neck stood up. I felt a pressure on my shoulder, and someone above my ear like a whisper. I whipped around and stared into the darkness. I felt like I was being watched. I turned on my lamp and found my glasses, and there was nothing. I tried to rationalize that night in my head over and over that it was a dream, but I wasn't asleep. I started flipping my chair over and sleeping with the lights on. I'd experienced weird little things like coming into my room and my shoes were perfectly lined up, or there would be noises in my closet at night. Things would go missing and then show up. The lights would go off at night in the halls between 2 and 4. Pitch black in the halls. I refrained from walking to the washroom during those times. One late night, I had done laundry. I was on my bed brushing my hair. I didn't have my glasses on, and I swear my laundry basket moved and moved. That feeling again. The eerie feeling returned. Cold, all of a sudden, too. And I booked it out of there. No slippers, no glasses. I made my friend come down and look, but there was nothing. Pictures and calendars off my wall just disappeared for long periods. I looked everywhere. They aren't something that you can just lose under your bed. They would come back a few weeks later. My other friend consistently experienced her items missing and showing up, especially after she would go buy new ones to replace them. A few months in. It's fall. My friend lived on the floor above me. We were on the phone. It was really late. She had gone to the bathroom and took me with her, but on her way back she told me to hold on and hung up the phone. She later sent a video on Snapchat of her outside of her door, and there were noises. I kid you not. When she opened the door, her room was a mess. Her clothes were taken from her dresser, her shoes were everywhere, and in the corner of the video, her papers on her desk move. I will ask her for the video, as I am not joking. This happened. A lot of people I've told claim it was the window and she messed her room up herself, but she was a very clean person and wouldn't leave an extra cleaning for herself like that. As for the window, the page moved in the opposite direction the wind was coming through. One night, my neighbor was screaming bloody murder. He moved out of residence a few days later, even though the boys were teasing him about being a baby. He told me he woke up and a little girl was standing over his bed. Fast forward to a few months later. It's a big event at my school, so everyone's partying, and we wanted to explore. The tunnels beneath our residence are off limits, and you get fined if you're caught. I can't tell you how me and my two friends got there. I literally can't. I can't remember it at all. I just remember being down there. This cold, cut feeling. Again, that hair on our arms were raised. We didn't know how to get out. Felt like someone was watching you, but couldn't see anyone. No one but us three down there. I've never been so scared. I didn't care about the fine. We ended up having to call safety and security to come get us. This feeling was a bit different than in my room. I was scared in my room, but I didn't feel in danger, if that makes any sense. Two very different feelings. Later, to find out that people say that the Red Priest is down there. A lot of alumni who have lived there, including my aunt, told me when I came home from Christmas that the nun is there to protect us from the priest. I don't know how much I believe it, but I started hardcore respecting the nun. I stopped making fun of her, and I liked her. If I heard her in my closet, I wasn't upset or scared. She's opened and closed my mini fridge a lot too. I think she likes to make it known she's around. All my friends experienced similar things to me, even before we started sharing them. I didn't know this at the time, but it's marked as one of the most haunted buildings in my province. I really wasn't a believer before any of this, but now I can confirm ghosts are real. That whole year, our group chat sent little pictures and things of their own little experiences. Mirrors breaking, things moving, beds made when they returned. Again, take what you will from them, but I swear on my life that that building is haunted, and those experiences, for me, are 100% true. My 5 imaginary childhood friends. Posted on the paranormal subreddit by user Barbarian319. I have no recollection of this. I remember part of my life before and after the story, but I have no memory of my life living in this house. This story I know from what my mom and my siblings have told me. Back when I was about 4 or 5 years old, me and my family went to live from Buenos Aires to Saltillo, Mexico. My father had just got a big promotion, so he bought a big 3-story house. Beautiful and antique house. As soon as we moved into the house, I told my mother that I had met 5 boys who are now my friends. As a kid with an active imagination, my mom didn't think much of it. Later on was when she started noticing strange behavior from my part and my friends. First thing she noticed was that my friends were not allowed to come down from the 2nd floor. I would spend hours begging them to please come down and play with me on the 1st floor living room. I would tell my mom that they couldn't, or they'd get in trouble with the man in the black hat. After a few months, things started getting stranger. My mom would sometimes hear children laughing and footsteps on the top floor. She then assumed that maybe my imaginary friends were maybe not that imaginary. One night, when my father was out of town, I went to sleep with my mom on her bed. In the middle of the night, I woke up and told her that my friends had gotten angry with me, that they were really angry and they wanted to hurt me. I was screaming at my mom to please help me. I was crying, telling her to please help me, because they now wanted to take me. Please, Mom, help me. They are coming for me. They sent the man in the black hat. Please, I don't want to go. My mom told me that she grabbed me tight and closed her eyes and prayed for me to just fall asleep and shut up. But I didn't. I was telling her to look out the window and see the man. Look at his red eyes. 10 minutes passed, and I was no longer crying. I calmly told her that the man was now in the hallway, and I would be going with him. She went and locked the bedroom door, held me tight with a hand on my mouth, and closed her eyes until I drifted off into sleep. She didn't sleep until daytime. That morning, she called my father and told him that she could no longer live in that house. It took us 2 months for us to find a new place to live. As soon as I left the house, I no longer talked about my friends. And apparently forgot all about them. There are many stories of things that happened during our stay at that house, but I just want to tell you guys the one that was the most intense for my family. Thank you all for joining me on this Reddit story, scary story thing. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, later kids.